That's the primary contribution of this dissertation. Starting to try and, tease out the
Represent,
differences
right, to
between them
represent
and figure
what
out
is
how
what.
to represent them and whether there's overlap. That's part of research that's to be done in the future. I mean, that's not part of what I set out to do here.
Actually, so this is exactly represent what the expert think about
Yep,
the credibility.
that's exactly where I started. What is it? That's the first question I start out with. What is it that experts think about that makes them believe that identity documents are credible? And in their minds, by the way, a credible identity document is one that has a low potential for identity fraud. That's the question I start out asking. I mean, that's my research question.
Right. But that kind of, I don't know. If we answer the question, then is that the research question or not? Because how can we evaluate? How can we make a refutable claim and so forth?
Well, we do that. As I say, I've skipped all of that here. I mean, I really wanted to focus in here on the contributions to theory. So I've skipped away.
Maybe
I
we
bypassed all of that, but that's very clearly set forth in the document, and certainly in my defense it will be.
Right. You need to make it
Because
clear.
you're right; those are critical things.
Kenneth, now this is a question I was going to ask after your first slide, but let me ask now.
Sure.
What is your goal in today's presentation?
The goal in today's presentation was to talk about the contributions to theory.
Okay. Now, you made it clear that this is not your rehearsal.
Correct.
However, when will be your rehearsal? Because time
Time is running away.
I will be gone from the 14th
Right.
to the 24th, as you know.
Yeah, David's on the 13th. Okay. So I don't think that's going to be a good day for me to do a rehearsal. Because yours is at 2 o'clock.
You want me to go?
Well, I probably also there. So. But you come back when?
I come back on the 24th.
Which is on Monday.
Well,
So,
I'm actually
but you won't be available
here on the
Saturday.
25th.
The 25th is a Wednesday?
No, the 25th is Tuesday, and you're defending on the 27th,
Correct.
Thursday.
Correct. So the rehearsal could be...
We could do it the afternoon of the 27th, so that
Well, that's a little late. Oh, let's do that depending after the day.
that may not have the impact.
Yeah. We could do it on either the Tuesday or the Wednesday. I think you're normally in here on a Wednesday. If we set it like for noon on Wednesday, or will that interfere with your
That's
class
the day
preparation?
before.
Yeah. Tuesday would probably be a better day because then I'd have more time to react to comments that are made.
Or do you want to try to do it like next Wednesday, the 12th?
Yeah, that would be all right too. That would be okay. I'm not sure David's head will be expert. Maybe it will because you'll be sort of
Hopefully by then.
yeah.
Relax.
But yeah, that would be fine. Next week Wednesday the 12th will be fine
Yours?
with me.
I can't read the date. Is it 2:30, 2 or 2:30?
2.
I will clarify that here in my.
CBC 240.
See,
CBC.
CBC 110.
240.
240.
CBC
I know,
240.
it changes.
At 2.
It changes.
Yeah, it's not
The new-
CBC
the new
200 at
Yeah.
240, no. Yeah, but actually next week Wednesday would be fine. Are you guys available?
Yeah, sure.
Because clearly I would very much appreciate a chance to
Right.
get the critique. And
So return to the what is the goal of the research, Kenneth? I suggest you take
Give me
out
the
the second
number.
one.
Sorry, say again.
I suggest you take out the second one because it may lead to a different discussion and totally deviate from your research.
77.
Yeah,
just
straight on one
I mean,
point,
you're better
right.
off just keeping
Zero,
that
zero,
one.
right.
Right. Get one and track to that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, 1.
What I do is to
Can you
understand
say again?
or capture.
Sorry. We got all the zeros, dial 1, then what? 4093. And then the pound sign. Okay, so 787, 764, 4 zeros, followed by 14093 pound sign. Okay? Arfin is calling it right now.
The cable on the tape. Cable.
Editing them
Yeah.
was between what do the experts see individually, and then putting together what is
Their importance rating.
their important, how do, as they evaluate each other's perspective. So it seemed to me the second contribution was more, here you're sort of polling them. Would biometric identity data solve the problem? You know, there's computers coming out now where in order to log into the computer, you have to give a
thumbprint of
thumb.
Right.
And point out from what was the Schneier book. You can actually quote the paragraph, and he puts it in little paragraphs, the recipe of how you can take grocery store gelatin, like the stuff that goes into the Jell-O, just simple gelatin, and a certain, Scotch tape. There's one brand of Scotch tape that's better than the other. You lift the fingerprint, you put the gelatin on your finger, you apply the Scotch tape, and then you've got a fingerprint. And whoever it is, you lifted it off.
Yep.
And if anybody stops, if the police come in, you stick your finger in your mouth and lick off the gelatin. You can swallow the evidence. And it's like 3 steps, 3 easy steps. And and there you have a biometric, lifting an eye. What's new here is the use of the RGI as an expert knowledge elicitation tool.
Yeah.
Knowledge acquisition.
Knowledge acquisition tool, right? Is the correct
The
terminology.
keyword.
Yeah. Okay. I have a list of the different types of documents that were considered representative. That's not particularly interesting. This is the list that I did elicit. I am not planning to go into any detail on it because it's in the document and I discuss it in the document. The details for the 4 scenarios, and I skip past how you develop scenarios and so on. But the details of the 4 different scenarios, there were certain interesting things that came out of it. I describe what the elements of the scenario are. I say here's the experts. This is now their aggregate rating of the most important constructs, the most important characteristics of an identity document. These are the ones with the highest average rating, importance rating. In this first scenario, where it's basically all manual and there's nothing biometric or electronic about the document. The customer is physically present, the document is physically present. You'll see that the things that they react to most here are all visual things. I classify the date of birth as visual in the sense that one of the things that they normally do is they compare the date of birth with the person in front of them. If I presented a document that said I had a date of birth of, January 12, 1996, they might not take that at face value. This is not a 12-year-old person sitting in front of them.
Isn't it supposed to be 1896?
Yeah, right. My father would say that, and actually he would. He has that kind of sense of humor. He says that he has no problems. He has just one problem: chronic old age. So anyway, so those are the highest rated things. Then I look at the clustering. The clustering just says the experts had a very high level of agreement on certain documents. It's hard to read because it's small. I apologize. That's why it's going to be important to make sure it's only 2 per page, not 6. And maybe these should even be one per page. But the
But why is, why